Hello there, internet people. It's your good buddy Rue here with the penultimate episode of the second season of the RUviews. This is, of course, the much anticipated by absolutely nobody's Deadpool Special. I had promised a couple months ago to Mr. Wade Wilson himself a poster at www.theouthousers.com, spell it like it sounds, the world's greatest comic book website, that as soon as Merc with a Mouth was finished, I would do an entire episode dedicated to Deadpool. As you can see, I got my little Deadpool shirt on. My friend, Bitchy Librarian, she saw the shirt on me once and referred to him as Little Pig Nose. So now I can't get that thought out of my head. So Marvel, since you're watching this, if you do a spin-off of Spider-Ham and add Deadpool, me and my friend Bitchy Librarian think Pig Nose should be his name. Just putting that out there. As most of you know who've ever watched this, I love Deadpool. New Mutants number 98. I have every single of X-Force. I have the first miniseries, but I think that was Nietzsche. This one was a Circle Chase by Wade. I have them all. I love Deadpool. Joe Kelly, the entire run of this series of Deadpool, and the only variant comic I've spent money on over cover price, I want to say in 15 years, was a Scotty Young Daredevil 505, because I thought this was actually really funny. I love Deadpool. I think that I'm only missing one comic appearance by him, and I'm not spending $40 on the Deadpool Encyclopedia. It's just not going to happen. So when I say I like Deadpool, I actually mean it. Like, I'm a longtime fan. Everything here, I did not buy in back issue bins. I get them off eBay. I've been reading comics this long that I have the first appearance of Deadpool because I was buying New Mutants when it was coming out. So just yay Deadpool, yay comic books, yay Deadpool, and we'll get to the overexposure here soon. But let's get going with comic books, the new books that he's in. I'm going to start off with the worst thing about Deadpool right now, and it's over, which is why I can do this special, and it is the 13-issue miniseries, as Marvel changed the name to Merc with a Mouth. The only good thing about Merc with a Mouth, here's issue 2 right here, issue 13, right here, the newest one, just came out last week or this week, depending on how you define weeks on Sundays. I cannot think of one issue of this entire 13 comic book run that entertained me. The best thing about these comics are the covers. Silence of the Lambs, Nirvana. The covers are great parodies of classic images. The comic book itself was just dumb. And I don't mean Deadpool dumb, like wacky and absurd. I mean horribly written garbage with art that almost made me stab my own eyeballs out. Yes, Rue, why did you buy all 13 issues? Because I'm an idiot. I'm a completist when it comes to Deadpool, and I knew that it sucked. I knew eventually somebody would cancel it, so I figured 13 issues, you know what, I can deal with this. And the horrible thing about it is this guy, Gischler, he can do an okay Deadpool. Deadpool Core is actually a pretty fun book. The prelude to Deadpool Core. These are really, they're not great books, but they're average comic books. I'm going to continue buying them. But Gischler, these books overlapped. They were published at the same time. And this one doesn't suck. This one did. This whole zombie universe thing, it was a horrible, horrible idea. And the fact it wasn't even story arcs, like, Marvel, you didn't advertise that as a 13-issue miniseries up until 2 months ago. So the fact that this was a 13-issue long storyline that was planned like that initially, bad planning, bad comic book, bad art, stupid. If you haven't bought Mark with the Mouth yet and you're waiting for trade, skip it. It is a horrible Deadpool. All you need to know about Mark with the Mouth is covered in the prelude to Deadpool Core Wars, which actually are not that bad. It's basically Deadpool and a bunch of Deadpools from other dimensions off in space saving the universe. These guys right here, the Deadpool Core books, really, really fun. Like I said, again, not great, but I will say this. Compared to, and let me pull it back out, the Liefeld art we have in New Mutants 98, seriously, like, I'm just flip to any page. Compared to the Liefeld art we have there, the first, I think, 6 issues of Deadpool Core are done by Liefeld. It's actually really, really good comic book art. This is not going to be hanging in the Louvre, but for comic book art, for showing action, Liefeld still has it. Okay, or you just now got it, depending on how you feel about Liefeld. Deadpool Core, fun book. Again, pretty mundane comic book. Spinning out of Work with a Mouth and Deadpool Core, we have the Lady Deadpool one-shot that came out, again, this week or last week, depending on how you define weeks. This book fucking sucked. I'm sorry, I've been asked not to cuss as much. This book freaking sucked. This is an awful comic book. Seriously, you introduced this character basically a week ago or a couple months ago in one of these one-offs, and you already contradicting the. Don't buy this. Just don't. I'm not even gonna explain it. Just don't buy it. It's horrible. The team-up book though, Deadpool team-up, and this one was $8.92. This is actually a really good idea. If you don't like Deadpool, or if you like Deadpool, and overexposure is really bothering you, this is an anthology book. All of them so far, and there's been 8 of them, standalone. Don't worry about it. Lapham did the most recent one. Some are hits, some are miss. But so far, of the 8, I'd say 5, 6 have been really, really fun. This most recent one with Satana. I think I read recently Lapham's getting like a mini series of Deadpool. And if this is how he's going to write Deadpool, I'd say, go for it. Good job. Wade Wilson's War. I have said for the entire time I've been doing this, every time that Straczynski, that guy, not the guy who does Babylon 5, but however you pronounce Straczynski, this guy, whoever's writing Wade Wilson's War. He also did the Cable series, and every time Deadpool was in that, it was hilarious. Cable Deadpool 25 was a great Deadpool comic book. Straczynski, for the first issue of this miniseries, I think did a wonderful job with the Deadpool persona. He got wacky, he got absurd. He didn't make him stupid, but he didn't make him like a cookie-cutter X book. Issue 2 was awful. I don't know what happened between, in a miniseries that should have all been written, in my opinion, at the same time. Issue 1, yay! Issue 2, boo! I'm hoping 3 and 4 go back to the style. The problem with Wade Wilson's War is he's basically telling his origin that's been established since the Joe Kelly run, and it's not right. Like, the origin he's telling Congress in this miniseries is different than the origin in the same guy writing X-Men Origins Deadpool, a one-shot. The origin in this book contradicts the origin in this book, which contradicts the entire, I would say, Deadpool and Death Annual #1, wherever we got the whole origin of Deadpool in the Joe Kelly run. Like, there's similarities, but they're not the same. And I understand the Joe Kelly run ended so long ago. You can kind of retcon that origin and make it make sense. But when you have 2 books coming out at the same time, where you're trying to tell the origin of a character, in my opinion, and I'm not all that bright, people tell me that all the time, they should mesh, in my humble opinion. Finally, we'll get the final Deadpool book we'll talk about is the Deadpool ongoing right now, Way's book. I'm going to say something that a lot of longtime Deadpool fans don't agree with. I think Way is doing a wonderful job with Deadpool. I think he gets the voice. I think he gets the strategic nature of Deadpool. I think he gets the absurdity. And for the most part, he gets the comedy. Blind Owl comes back in this issue. This came out again recently. Apparently it's in 3D. I'm not cutting it out. I think it's funny that they did that. It's probably not in 3D. But he brings back Weasel. In this issue, we get a phone call with Blind Owl, who we haven't seen in years. And Blind Owl, that's something we need. Somebody needs to tackle the entire Blind Owl thing. An origin story, a flashback, do something. But I don't mind the whole voices in his head that Way created. There's been great continuity in Way's Deadpool and Deadpool, Wolverine Origins, and wherever Way started writing Deadpool. I think he's doing a great job. I usually smile or laugh a bit in every issue. And Deadpool's crazy, and Deadpool doesn't know what he's doing, and Deadpool contradicts himself, and and Way gets it. Way understands Deadpool is not a hero. Deadpool thinks he is. That's it for this. Deadpool overexposure, yes, but nobody's forcing you to buy it. More books in Wolverine. You know what? I haven't bought a Wolverine solo book or Wolverine limited series in 4 years. You know what? If you don't like Deadpool, if you don't like the overexposure, if you only want to buy one book, only buy one book. Vote with your money. It's my fault I bought Mark with a Mouth. I owned it. Overexposure. There's a movie coming out. It was popular in the Wolverine Origins movie. It's popular now. It'll die down. Get over it. Stop bitching. Stop buying it. Unless you like it. I like it, so I keep buying it. That's it. Later, people.